All right, thank you so much for joining us on Engineering and You. My name is Miriam Usman. Every Friday, we bring you guests to take us through the wonders of engineering and the importance in our everyday lives. This program is brought to you by Engineer Prince Yemisi Shilon, FNSE. He's the reason why you see this program every Friday by 5:30 p.m. Don't forget, it's a two-way communication. You get to call in and answer our question on the program, and just maybe if your answers are correct, you stand a chance of winning a prize on the program today, courtesy of our sponsor, Engineer Prince Yemisi Shilon. Now, we'll move straight to the question of the day. If you are not new to this program, you know every week we bring you questions on the program and you get to answer our questions. Don't forget, you can also reach us via our social media handles. And when you call, also try and, as much as you can, turn down the volume of your TV set. Now we'll move straight to the question of the day. Which of these resources is renewable? Which of these resources is renewable? We have coal, option A. We have option B, natural gas. Option C, we have solar. And option D, we have uranium. If you know the answer, please do well to call us and send us messages via our social media handle. And you stand a chance to win a prize courtesy of our sponsor, Engineer Prince Yemisi Shilon. We will go on this break, and after which I will be introducing our guest on the program as well as our topic of conversation. Please stay with us. All right, thank you for staying tuned. You are still watching Engineering and You, courtesy of our sponsor, Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon. Don't forget, you have the question of the day, and I'm just going to take you through it again. If you know the answer, please do well to call us or send us messages via our social media handle. The question of the day remains: which of these resources is renewable? You have option A, coal; option B, natural gas; option C, solar; and option D, uranium. So if you know the answer, do well to call us, and just maybe you might be a winner on the program today. On the program, we are taking a close look at the intersection of safety and engineering, a primer for you. Don't forget, when it comes to everything you use as human, from what you eat to what you wear to what you make your everyday life easier, an engineer is involved. You might want to know how this is done. That's why we bring every week engineers your way to tell you how this thing is made possible. And joining us on the program today is Engineer Akim Ayonuga. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for encouraging us.
Okay. We appreciate your presence here. Last week was actually very, very interesting. We had one of your colleagues here who took us through a very interesting aspect of engineering. You know, we talked about volunteering as a skill everyone should learn, especially prospective engineers in their various prospecting or aspiring engineering field. So today we're looking at the intersection of safety and engineering. What's that like? And I know your slide is ready for you to take.
Okay, well, I think some of my senior colleagues have been coming. They have been giving you engineering's the methodology and so many other things like that. This time around, I want to come with safety. An engineer must have what it takes to design whatever I want to design, and we don't play with safety. The topic is the intersection of safety and engineering, a primer for you. What do I mean by that? I simply means the importance of safety in engineering. When an engineer who is trained to design, to develop, to maintain structures, to maintain machines and equipment, it's very important for such engineer to know that safety must be put into consideration in its design at the first instance. It has been widely said generally that you know, when a doctor makes a mistake, a life is involved. But when an engineer makes a mistake, multiples of people are involved. Even himself is not even safe. So that's to tell you the importance of safety in all our doing as an engineer. Safety engineering aims to manage risk in the world of in the workplace by eliminating or redressing to acceptable level. Risk is the combination of the probability of failure. Are you getting what I'm saying? Even at the severity from the failure, interfere, and so many other things like that. So one should be able to try as much as possible to know that whenever we are talking about engineering, safety must be involved. Are you getting me? So now, we now have to look at some personnel that should be involved, you know, in making all these things easy. We have what we call the health and safety engineers. We have the safety officer. We have also the safety trainer and the risk manager. Those people play a very important role in making sure that, you know, yes, in making sure that things are going the way it should go. So what is the function of each one of them? The safety officer ensures that, you know, everything's within the industry or the factory is going the way it should be in terms of safety compliance. While the safety trainers does the work of, you know, making the procedure available in terms of training of any employee that is being employed by in an organization. We also know that the risk manager does the risk assessment. He does the risk assessment and emergency response planning. Are you getting me? Because he has to make sure that everything goes the way it should be in terms of safety. So having said all this, it is important for us to know that all these people play a very important role in an engineering setup. Now, we have to know some facts about our dressing code as an engineer.
Very important.
It's very, very important. We have to know so many things about our dressing code. An engineer is expected to dress like an engineer. We don't put on ties. We don't encourage putting on, how do I call it, Iran Bubad. You know, we have female engineers as well. We don't encourage things like that. Your earrings, your hair should be tucked under your hat or your helmet. And then the safety glasses, if it is important, you put on. If you are going to a place whereby some flying particles are moving about in that particular site location, you should have your safety glasses along with you. There are sometimes we have glass exploration as well. The mask, the nose mask is important too. And these are all the things you should have to put on to, you know, look at like an engineer. But that doesn't mean an engineer cannot put on the ties. But if an engineer put on ties, it should not be on site, and it should not be at the factory or you know, where work is taking place. Or it can be in the design room. You know, we design. You use your system to do one or two things, and as such, you can put on all those things. But immediately you are going for supervision, you are going to site to do one or two things, definitely you have to, you know, remove all those things and put on your overall. So now, accident happens. These are the means to everyone. A large number of accidents occur in the factories and the workshop every day. And about 2/3 of all these are caused by the individual employee itself, who may or may not be injured. More often than not, such bad luck is the result of ignorance. And as a result, one should have to be very, very careful, you know, in avoiding accidents. So safety-mindedness is a key, and it's one of those things that one should remember immediately you are in an engineering setup. So to avoid all these safety measures, to avoid all these accidents taking place, we have what is generally assuming to be our general safety measures. Number one, you should have a good housekeeping. What do I mean by good housekeeping? A good housekeeping involves keeping the workshop as clean and orderly as possible. This is everyone's responsibility. It's not even the operator alone, but everyone should be very, very at alert to be a good housekeeper. Also, we should avoid skylarking. What do I mean by skylarking? Skylarking is playing practical jokes. This must not be acceptable. It must not be permitted in the workshop. It should be avoided totally. Quite apart from the time wasted, if feeling caused, it always results in someone being hurt or equipment being damaged. Then I've also mentioned about the dressing code, which is very, very important. Put on your overall, put on your helmet, and so many other things like that. Now, there are some important sources of dangers. As an engineer, when you enter a workshop or you enter, a factory, there are some things that will trigger you to know that you have to be very at alert. These are the things we call the sources of dangers. Number one, or the most important one, is inflammable liquid. We have petrol, we have cellulose paints, we have thinners, and some of other liquid used for cleaning and degreasing will all vaporize at a normal temperature. That is the reason why engineers should not put on a metal shoe or something that has, how do I put it now, that is not supposed to be in terms of shoes that has metal in it. It can easily spark up whatever, and then God forbid an accident happening. Then the safety officers should also help in putting some slogans, to make awareness, to make it a reminder to our engineers on site. Some slogans goes by "A fire today, no job tomorrow," "Fire catches, so don't play with matches," "Crawl down low when it's time to go," "Get out quick before the smoke gets thick," "Stop, drop, and roll." That's quite funny. Stop, drop, and roll. What do I mean by that? God forbid where we have a fire accident, and the fumes that is coming from this thing is so thick, so you don't expect to stand tall and try to escape. It's bad. So what you need to do is to stop for whatever you are doing, drop as if you fall down, and roll on the ground. So these are the part of things you have to do. So like the fire safety slogans continue: think of fire before it starts. Uncontrolled fire knows no frontiers. They can use it. They hang it along the walls of the factory, so that our people will be, at alert whenever they are at work, so that we will not witness any bad this thing. So now, precautions on fire. There's a lot of things we have to know. We have to prevent, as an experienced officer or an engineer. We should never permit an open flame or any sort of direct heat to be brought into or very close to a store or a workshop where all these inflammable liquids are stored or are stored for usage anyway. Smoking must be strictly banned. There should not be smoking where you have all this stored inflammable liquid. And then whenever there is a spilled liquid on ground, it should be quickly mopped and the rags dropped in a lidded bin. And as well, the wear mask of a thing is important. And we should not eat in a spray shop. Don't eat in a spray shop, it's bad. Do not spray unless air extractor fans are operating. The extractor fans will consume all these fumes and expose it to the atmosphere. After work, drink as much milk as possible. There's a lot of factory now that encourage that. where I was worked in Negales, an aluminum extrusion company, where immediately after we finish from the workshop, we will be given milk, to help us dilute all these inflammable things that may eventually escape into the system. So then you should be one should be very, very familiarizing with all these fire appliances, the fire extinguisher and so many other things like that, so that it is not when the accident comes that you now be looking for how to operate them. You should have known how to operate all those kind of things. Now we have rotating machineries. The rotating machineries, most especially in the workshop, yes, and all these forms, rotating shafts, the gears, the pulleys and belts, and expose all to powered machines. A shaft may appear to be quite smooth, but it may be dangerous at a very high speed. It can grab any loose material which comes in contact with it and wrap it rapidly around itself. That's why we don't encourage ties, we don't encourage wrapper and all sort of things to be used. And these are very, very important. Now, we should also be very, very careful in the way we put on our wristwatches, the ring and the ear, even the phone that we go along with should be put in silent, because it can cause distraction. It can cause distraction, and all these things should be avoided, because we want to eliminate or totally eradicate an accident taking place in the work site or whatever. Next, I think we should also have some other things to look at, because it's not only inflammable gases or inflammable materials that engineers are being exposed to. There are so many other things that are being exposed to. For example, there are sometimes you may decide to lift an object in the work site. You may decide to lift an object, and when you decide to do that, you may have to use some equipment. There are some equipment meant for this. Equipment like a forklift. You should not try to use your energy or whatever to say you want to try it. You don't encourage such. Then if you don't use a forklift, there are some other things you can use that can also help in lifting a very heavy equipment. Like we have the cranes and the hose. Those one is being operated just like you are holding a remote control. And some other things like that in lifting hefty load. So now, God forbid bad things, if it happens after saying all this that an accident occur, then those co-workers that witness such should be able to attend to the fellow, and they should not just leave him. A doctor should be called upon, and so many other people like that to come and rescue him. And artificial respiration is quite good at that particular period. That is medical, and I don't want to involve myself in medical terminology. So I think these are all things we must do. So if there's some other questions that I can attend to, I think I'm good to go.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. This topic we have to discuss is quite important, and I'm glad you did justice to every of the slide on the program. So that's the package we have for you today. You can call us, the phone line is open, and don't forget, when you call us, try as much as you can to turn down the volume of your TV set. You can also send us messages via our social media handles to answer our question for the day. Now, when we started this program, I did mention that technology is life. Engineering is that propelling force, and it's rotating everything we do. Now, the study of engineering in our society cannot be overemphasized, and that's why we encourage young people. If you're between the ages 15, from 15 to 18 or even before 15, you have any invention that you want the public to know that is science, engineering related, this program is for you. You can call us on 08036040194. I take that again, 080-366-40144. You can also send us messages via the line on the screen. Now, someone on his own felt the need to encourage the society to take more of engineering courses and ensure that we become something very, very good in our society. And that's why we have Engineering and You every day by 5:30. This person is Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, the sponsor for Engineering and You. Don't forget, this is where you get all the discussions when it comes to engineering. And today has been very wonderful because our guest has had to dissect the topic of conversation today. So we'll go on this break, and after which we'll return to take our answer for the question of the day. All right, good to know that you're still there. You're watching Engineering and You. Now we bring back the question of the day, and then we'll just tell you the answer. Unfortunately, we couldn't get some call through for you today, but of course we get you and we know that you are watching. Now back to the question of the day, which of these resources is renewable? We have coal, natural gas, solar, and uranium. Well, we expect your answers, and if we don't get them today, we know that you will call us next week, and so we're taking this question till next week. But before we leave you, we'll leave you with the question for the week. We have, which object is smallest? We have A, galaxy, B, planet, C, star, D, universe. Which object is the smallest? Galaxy, planet, star, and the universe. This is how far we can go on Engineering and You. Okay, we have a caller from Akwa Ibom. Thank you so much, Abati, for joining us today. Yes, so what's the answer for our question of the day today?
Hello?
Abati? Yes, Abati, I can hear you.
Solar.
Can you speak louder?
The answer is solar energy.
Solar, okay, that's option C. I'd like to know, how old are you, Abati?
I'm 12 years old.
12 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you sound a bit older than 12 years. What are the last 2 digits of your phone number?
It's my mom's number. It's 114.
114.
Yes.
Okay, we'll let you know if you're correct or not on the program next week. Thank you for calling Engineering and You. I really think Abati is more than 12 years, but again, we will check if you're correct or not next week. Join us on the program and you get to know if you're the winner for this week's edition. I want to say a very big thank you for coming on the program, Engineer Ayonuga. It's been a great time discussing safety. Safety is very important for us as humans. And then we will say thank you for watching Engineering and You this week. Like we always say, engineering rules the world, and safety is a top priority for everyone. And ensure you keep yourself safe from anything that could pose danger to you, the society, and even the country at large. Don't forget, Engineering and You is brought to you by Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, FNSC. My name is Miriam Usman. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.